One of Buckeyes' first NCAA tournament appearance in 4 years ends in heartbreak as TCU got the winning basket with under 5 seconds to go in regulation, defeating the Buckeyes after a furious comeback at a 5-point lead for Ohio State after trailing by 15 at halftime. Now let's assess Jake Diebler after 2 years on the job. How's he doing? A lot of angry fans out there asking for his firing. I'm certainly not one of those. Not pleased with where the program's at. Thankful to have gotten back in the NCAA tournament. But, my goodness, you want to win one. Have the Buckeyes improved from this year to last year? Well, obviously, we made the NCAA tournament for the first time under Jake Diebler. We were 17-15. That's right. 2 games above 500, 2 games below 500 in Big Ten basketball play at 9-11, unacceptable. And so, looking at this year's record, 21-13, won a game in the Big Ten tournament, didn't last year. 12-8 in the Big Ten, marked improvement, finishing 8th in the conference. Now that's nowhere near good enough for Ohio State basketball and a product that I grew accustomed to from 2005 through 2013 under Thad Matta. So we've seen improvement. We're getting a McDonald's All-American next year. Mr. Thompson, the small forward, coming in at 6'7". Now, he's an Ohio product, so we're expected to get those kind of players to come to Ohio State. Now, Diebler, to his credit, convinced Thompson to come to Ohio State. So he does deserve credit for that because under Holtman, those kind of players were leaving the state. They're going to Duke. They were going to other Big Ten Conference members, to Michigan. He signed a top 15 class in the nation this year, with Thompson being the gem and the jewel of the class. So recruiting is looking good. But here's the thing, man. Everybody wanted Dusty May, and I get that. I wanted him too. I knew he was the future. I knew he'd have Michigan exactly where they are right now. You know, they lost easily or early last year in the big dance. Big Ten champions this year. Thankfully lost the Big Ten tournament championship game and got a 1 seed. Ohio State's nowhere near that. Had they hired Dustin May, I guarantee we'd be in the same spot. Back to the glory days of Buckeye basketball, but we didn't hire him. We went with Diebler, and now we got to assess where we're at. There's no sense in going back and saying, oh, we should have hired May. Everybody knew we should have hired May. Diebler has beaten Purdue 3 times in a row, the Big Ten tourney champs. Now, that's great. We need more signature wins. He saved his job. I do think he saved his job by making the NCAA tournament, beating Wisconsin, a ranked team, hanging tough with Michigan in the Big Ten tournament, and also beating Indiana and beating Purdue, like I mentioned. Year 3, what do I want to see from Diebler? He's getting a year 3. I don't care what you say. You little Twitter bots, you little angry, instant reaction fans, man, taking it all out on Diebler. Now, that last play, I admit, that was terrible, man. You got to give him credit for being in position to even have that kind of play, being down 15 at half. But there's no moral victories. They lost to TCU. They were up by 5. You got to close out the deal and finish strong, and they didn't. The play drawn up, out of a timeout no less, was absolutely atrocious and appalling. You should get a better shot than a half-court heave from your best scorer and best player. In year 3, I do want to see 23 wins at least, at minimum. That'd be great to see 24 or 25. I want to see 14 Big Ten wins, 14-6 in conference maybe, be in the top 5 of the Big Ten standings. Now, a leap would be even better. Maybe we finish in the top 3. We're not a Big Ten title contender next season, We should be competing for it, but we're not a serious threat to win the conference. That's going to be Michigan. That's going to be Purdue. And maybe some others thrown in the mix as well. We are 8th seed in this year's NCAA tournament. I want to see us be a top 5 seed. Being a top 4 seed is coveted. You get to play in your region. That would be an amazing leap to get a top 4 seed. Shoot, let's aim for it. Let's be a top 4 seed. Let's be a 4 seed in next year's Big Dance. We have to bring in a big man this offseason. The Buckeyes are really struggling. Ivan Nagovin, he's all right. The Croatian, the Croat, man, he's good, but we need somebody else who's a little more physical, used to American style of play, dominating physical play. We need a big man. We have to get one in the portal. I don't know who's going to be available. I don't know who's going to enter the portal, but I guarantee hundreds and hundreds of players will enter the portal, and Diebler's been good in the portal so far. It's time to go get a big man who is a difference maker. Don't let him go to Michigan in Dusty May. We need to contend with Mara at Michigan, and we're going to have a serious big to be physical, more physical than Tilly was, more physical than Nagovin was. We're going to have to be dominant, because that's what Big Ten basketball is played, in the paint. Now, we dominated the paint in terms of scoring, outscoring TCU by about 18 or 20 points yesterday in the tournament game, but we gave up 13 offensive rebounds. That's unacceptable. It's not going to fly. You can't win games like that. You just can't. Giving your team multiple opportunities like that, not going to work. So Diebler must advance in the NCAA tournament. He must be a top 5 finisher in the Big Ten Conference and be a 4 seed, in my opinion, to retain his job. And like I said, win a couple conference tournament games, beat Michigan. That'd be nice. Find a way to beat Dusty May. You played him well, very well, in 2 out of 3 contests. And it's time to beat Michigan for the first time, Diebler. Yeah, I know Michigan State's the bigger rival in basketball. We don't care. We hate you in every sport. And we're coming for you in every sport. Field hockey, tennis, swimming, track and field, everything. We want everything from you. And Diebler, it's time to go take that. Get a Michigan win. Get a couple conference tournament wins. Win an NCAA game. Make a Sweet 16 for the first time since 2013. Those are my goals. Finish top 5 in the conference. Let's go Bucks. The offseason is here. Football content returning now that basketball season is over. We'll see you on the next one. Go Bucks and God bless.